Good day, friends. I would like to tell you about my cancer journey. It's been a very long cancer journey with a big interval in between. My friend, who was a nurse practitioner, would not prescribe my Premarin to me until I had a mammogram. So I go and I get a mammogram, and don't ever fuss when they pull you way around, because my cancer was way under my arm, close to my back. It was stage 1. It had not gotten in the lymph nodes, and it was such a shock, as it is for everybody. You just have to have time to process what's happening to you. And in the meantime, your caretaker, your husband, your friend, or whomever, needs to keep up with all the information that you're going to receive. I have 5 questions that everyone should ask, perhaps at their very first oncology meeting. And as you know, oncology is your cancer doctor. You have already had the mammogram, more than likely. You've had a biopsy, and now it's time to see a surgeon. So in 2003 is when I had my first cancer. And my son was determined for me to go out to MD Anderson in Houston, Texas. Well, I told him, I said, son, we do not have the money to go to Texas for this. And then I remembered, Aflac. Do you remember when Aflac had those commercials and had that duck that would go, Aflac, Aflac? I wanted a duck. And so what I did was I signed up for a cancer policy so I could get the Aflac duck. So the school called my husband and said, you realize Kay has a cancer policy. And it, at that time, paid $5,000. And we were able to go out to MD Anderson. In Memphis, which is only like 3 hours away, is also participating in this clinical trial. And Dr. Schwartzberg was my doctor. Well, this cute little lady, she was going to retire very soon, with short curly hair. She was so cute. And she said, I'm going to get you in that study. It actually closed 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to get you in that study. And she did. And the study lasted for 10 years. And I went once I was finished with everything, I went every year for the whole 10 years. And it was the drug Herceptin. And now when anybody has cancer like my cancer, you automatically are given Herceptin. And I want you to know that gave me 18 years of being cancer-free. And I had gotten to where I didn't even worry about a mammogram anymore, because, my goodness, I'd been 18 times and I was clear, everything was fine. And so I had a mammogram in 2020, in May. I always did it the month of my birthday. And the next February, I was laying on the bed and I felt a little tinge. And I thought, what is that? And I felt, and I felt at least 2 large knots. I had invasive ductal carcinoma on the left side. And they just called it precancerous on the right side. And I talked about reconstruction surgery and even met with the doctor. But they warned me about possible infection, and they were so right. My double mastectomy, it was from this side of my back all the way to this side of my back. And as much of the chest wall as they could afford to take out, because I'm stage 3 and very aggressive. This is my care plan and what they will be giving me, the different drugs, chemo drugs that they'll be giving me. I did take Taxol. You've probably heard of Taxol. Let me put my glasses on too. And then we take methotrexate plus 5-FU. And I know what that sounds like, but 5-FU and Cytox. I know all these drugs are like Greek to you. They were to me. That's why you take every handout and you read it, and then you get on and you Google it. And I'll tell you this time, this is my certificate for my chemo, and all the nurses, sign it, and it's nice, and they have a bell. I'm quite sure if you've had anyone with cancer, you know that at the end of your treatments, you ring the bell, and the bell was outside, and I did ring that bell. I sure did. They wanted me to have, MD Anderson wanted me to have proton radiation. And so we asked where closest place we could get that. Well, that's UAB, which is University of Alabama Hospital and Research, and they literally built a building just for the proton radiation machine. It was quite interesting. You didn't feel a thing, and that big, huge machine would go all the way around you, and you'd think, this is not doing anything. And we would do a 20-minute in the morning and a 20-minute session at night. And they have so many people, you may go at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you may go at 9:30 at night. And so we were able to stay over there thanks to some friends that knew we would be having to live in Birmingham, Alabama, and they helped us, and absolutely all of the finances were taken care of. And how appreciative I am of that. Well, instead of having a bail like West Clinic did, and this is my certificate for the proton radiation, they had a big old gong, just like the Gong Show, and a big mallet, and I thought, I'm not going to hit that gong real loud. There's people out here, and so I hit it, and the nurses say, that's ridiculous, and so they made me hit it really hard, and it gong, 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 it just sounded so loud. I am taking now an anti-estrogen tablet every day, Nastrozole, I think is how you pronounce it. And I'm taking something that advertises on TV all the time, and it's Verzenio. I think the advertisement is future plans, that you have. And when I first started taking this, they put me on 150 milligrams. And then they reduced it to 100 milligrams. And then I had an episode of, and I think I know why, had an episode that my iron depleted, and B12, and my blood work was horrible. It scared my doctor to death. She thought I may have a blood leak. And so I had the endoscopy. I had the colonoscopy. I even swallowed that capsule that has the little camera that comes out in a few days. I won't go any further than that. Most disgusting thing I've ever done in my life. I don't ever want that again. And there's no leakage anywhere. So I want to tell you what I'd been doing. I had started drinking coffee again, and I was drinking a lot of coffee, and I love those Outshine coconut popsicles, and I would eat maybe a box of those a day and not eat. I know I'm stupid. You can go ahead and say it. I can be stupid. And so I'm just wondering if me not eating correctly caused all of that blood work to be so bad. I hadn't told her that yet. I don't know if I am going to tell her that. I guess I ought to. But anyway, she stopped me from taking the Verzenio because it is harmful for the liver. So she has put me back on Verzenio, so now I'm taking the 50 milligrams of Verzenio, and I'm so happy. When I was taking the 150 and the 100, I didn't have an appetite. I lost weight, and I felt good, and all the side effects that the TV says you can have, I didn't have a single one of them. Not even the main one, that everybody has. I won't mention that one either. I said, no, it just kind of regulated me, So they can't believe. But I want to tell you something. It is the grace of God, and it is a positive attitude, because that matters so much. When you've got stage 3 cancer, every day is precious. You notice the sunrises. You notice this green grass that's growing up. Oh, the buttercups are beautiful. We have a lot of Bradford pear trees that blossoms are white. And boy, am I enjoying my granddaughters. And I'm afraid you will hear about them a good bit, because they are my life. They are my heart. And I'll tell you more about them later. The 5 questions that you do need to ask. Let me go over them for you. You need to ask what kind of cancer it is. There's so many different. HER2 negative, HER2 positive, invasive ductal carcinoma. There's so many different kinds. And it doesn't have to be breast cancer. It can be any kind of cancer. My second question is it in the lymph nodes? That is very important. Number 3, has it spread? And if it has, where has it spread to? And of course, they're going to have to take all kinds of tests, okay? All kinds of CT tests, MRIs, ultrasounds. I'm constantly taking tests. And number 4, do I need chemotherapy? Or possibly both chemo and radiation. And then the 5th question is, what is my prognosis? Now that's the one they're going to hem-haw around with, because everybody is different. Everybody is different. And that's when you go to Google, and when you go to Google, you better watch out. Because according to some of the sites I saw, I should have been dead 2 years ago. And it now has been 3 years. 3 years since my surgery. And I am going strong. I get tired. I get, really tired. I can't physically do the things that I used to do. But who's going to fuss about resting? Not me. I'm always carrying my granddaughters to tennis or cheerleading or whatever, so I don't mind coming home and resting, because that's what my family wants me to do. This is my cancer journey. I'm still on it. but I feel like I have friends. And I know some of you are dealing with cancer. You may be at the beginning of your journey, or you may be close to the end of your journey, like I will be too. But we still can pray for one another, be there for one another, have a positive attitude. And I think one of the most important things is to be acceptant, to accept what is happening. And I have to say this, if it weren't for the Lord and the peace that He gives that does pass all understanding, that is how I can get up every morning and smile and know somebody's walking right beside me and has been my whole life. So, if you have any questions, please share this. And of course, I'll say what everybody says. Please subscribe and like, but most of all, share it. That's the most important thing, so we can walk this journey together. And it's not going to be a sad. These episodes aren't going to be sad. We're going to do all kinds of stuff, fun stuff. So, bless you, and I truly appreciate you listening. Bye-bye.